Hey everyone. So it is something like the 543rd day of April, I think. I've lost count. There's a lot of days this April, more than usual. Um, so I want to talk about um, food and I want to talk about writing. So I'm going to do food first because I can and because I like talking about food, in case you hadn't figured that out. Because food. Um, but I I normally, like on a regular basis, my day consists of cooking whole foods and serving it to my family. And I do that all the time. That's just what I do. It's it's like you do. So that's my normal thing. But in order to do my normal thing, I have to have my normal groceries available. And right now that's just not happening. So I have to cook with what's available. Now, I can do that. I'm actually fine with doing that. I can look at, oh, well, okay, I have this thing, and this thing. Okay, we'll jam them together and make a meal. I'm very capable of putting together foods like that, and I like doing it. So that's a good thing. But it does mean that some of my choices at the grocery store have been a little different than they normally would be. So, for instance, I would normally never buy the commercial equivalent of sugar covered sugar bombs for the kids for cereal. I don't do that. They can have cocoa bites, but they get the organic ones that have at least some redeeming value. And they get oatmeal and they get raisin bran and a couple of other things. But they don't get things like fruity pebbles. But right now we're on a bit of a restricted budget and we are trying to make our food last for a longer period of time. And so I bought what was on sale when I went shopping on Monday. And what happened to be on sale in the cereal aisle was Fruity Pebbles. I will say for the record that this is the first time I have ever purchased Fruity Pebbles. I did not really know what to expect when I opened the package. My grandson finished his lunch. He was still hungry. He asked for more. I was like, oh, okay. Do you want some cereal? He likes to eat dry cereal. Great. Okay. So I opened the bag and the smell that wafted out of this bag, it was like cotton candy and crack kind of mixed together. It hit me like a wave. And I gave him a little paper plate of the stuff. And then I looked at it and I went, screw it. And I got a bowl and some almond milk and I poured some cereal in and put the almond milk on it and then went to sit and eat it. Oh my God, people. There is more sugar in that than in a spoon of sugar. There is so much sugar, and it was so good. I can feel the chemical, things eating away at my insides. I can feel the tumors forming as I speak, but man, it was so delish. Um, yeah, my kids are getting really spoiled because they don't get this normally. Usually, they get all organic crap, which is high on nutrition, low on flavor, and definitely low on sugar. So, yeah. And boy, he ate that like, quarter cup of fruity pebbles and then he was bouncing off the walls. Boing 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 boing. I mean, it was insane. And then his batteries just ran out and he was like, "Pfft." I got him into bed and he just passed out. Wow. That stuff should be marketed to the military. Wow. Anyway, other things that I've been doing is because I can't get the big giant packs of chicken breasts that we usually get. Because usually in a week, we go through two of the family size packs. And the grocery store doesn't always let us take that many. I can have two of the smaller packs, but that's a meal because there's six or seven or sometimes eight of us here. That's that's not enough food. So I bought some chicken breast and I bought some chicken patties And tonight, instead of having a home cooked meal made out of wholesome, whole food ingredients, we're having chicken patties, probably with packaged mashed potatoes, because, yeah. But hey, there's going to be food on the table. There will be proteins, there will be carbs, there will be fats. Probably not in optimal combinations, but they'll be there. So it's all good. Now, on the other hand, I did work outside in the garden today. I got the entire second raised bed, 10 by 3 bed, completely empty and ready to go. Added some dirt. Um, Discovered that a lot of the wood has rotted through over the years and needs to be replaced badly. But it's not going to happen right now. Even though I have the wood, I don't have the time or the ability to cut it right now. And so for the moment, I put some rocks and bricks to hold the last of the wood together until next year, and that's fine. It'll make do. Dirt's dirt, right? Plants don't care if it looks pretty. And it actually doesn't look bad now that I've pulled all the crap out of it. I also went in I have a rhubarb plant that has grown to like epic proportions for the past 3 years, and it's gotten these big woody stalks, and I was like, "What the hell?" And I looked it up, and apparently it does that when it gets too big because it's trying to propagate itself somewhere else before it dies out. You're supposed to pull it apart. So I went digging and I pulled up a tuber that was the size of a yam. Like, I kid you not. I tossed that sucker out into the back and beyond, and I'm hoping that, if it takes root, it's sufficiently far enough away that it doesn't eat the rest of our, trees and part of our house. But in any case, I did get the nice one kind of mixed up and put together, and I pulled the chunks apart and replanted them. And I'm hoping that it will survive. And I mean, it's rhubarb. I'm sure some of it will survive. Probably not the part that I want, because that's how rhubarb works. But anyway, that's that. So I actually got like 1.5 beds emptied today. I'm actually kind of pleased with myself because it was a lot of work. And the other thing is that we didn't clear up our leaves over in the fall around the garden beds. Mostly because if I do, then this time of year it becomes an unholy weed hell. If I leave the leaves down until about now, it slows down on the weed growth and lets me put other things down. So that was a positive thing. I'm calling it a win. It wasn't laziness. It was planned. Yeah, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. However, I don't really care. All of it looks really nice right now, and I'm quite pleased with myself because I got a lot of work done. I have dirt under my nails, and I feel good, and I got sunshine, and I got exercise, and the grandkid rode his bike and ran around like crazy for an hour and a half or so, having a great old time. Isn't that the whole point? Um, let's see. I also wanted to talk about writing. That was it. So I do a lot of writing on the screen. Most of when I write um, sort of stream of consciousness style. So, like, I will think whatever part I'm writing, and then it will just come out, and I get it all down. And I worry about the editing afterward because I don't care so much when it's first coming up. Oop, hold on. I have people saying things to me. Ah, oh, yay. Um. Anyway, so I do this sort of, like I said, it's a mess when it first comes out, and then with fiction books in the past, what I've done is I've printed it out because it's easier for me to edit when I can see it on paper, and then I highlight or I scribble in the margins or whatever I need to do, and I make my notes and I go through it that way in hard print. And then I go back and I edit the second time on the screen. With the cookbook, it's a little different. So I kind of planned out how I wanted the cookbook to be. I had all the chapters laid out, the order I wanted things in, um, how I wanted to do the footnotes, all that kind of stuff. I had figured out what I wanted to do. And I'm on a video just so you're aware. When Um, so the printing it out thing doesn't work quite as well for a cookbook. Nonfiction doesn't lend itself as well to the type of editing I was doing before, but neither does just looking at it on a screen and nothing else. And so what I started doing was taking notes. Lots of notes. Tons and tons of notes. So that seems to be working. So what I've done is as I go through, there are some things that I edit immediately and I correct them on the screen. Spelling errors, grammar errors, places where I put in a word twice, the stupid little things that happen when you're writing. But then there are also, as I went through, I decided that one of the chapters that I needed to add into the book was for the beginner. Okay. I want this book, this cookbook, to be accessible to literally anyone. And so I realized that I use terms that I use all the time and that somebody who's new to cooking but is really into historical reenacting might not be familiar with. And so I started writing down all those terms. So, like, what does it mean to brown something? What does it mean to do a slow boil or a fast boil? What's a simmer? What's the difference between frying and sautéing? What does it mean to toast something? How do you poach something? What does it mean to blanch something? Is that the same as parboiling? Um, Scalding, deglazing, scorching. Yeah, like, I mean, all these terms are things that I don't even think about. I use these all the time. And a new cook who's coming to my book because they have an interest in history might not know how to just do those things. And so I've gone back and I'm actually creating a chapter for the beginner that includes instructions on all this stuff. And then a section on prepping food. What does it mean when I say to cut something up, to dice something? What's mincing? What's chopping? Um, what does it mean to oil a bread pan or oil a mold? When you, what does it mean to coin a carrot? Knead bread. These are all, again, terms that I know the meanings behind, but other people may not. And so I really wanted to make sure that I had all of that stuff covered, even if it was just a fairly basic thing. Um, and then I'm adding in a section to my first chapter, which will include the different items that are used in medieval cooking, which are different from today's things. So the griddle that we use today is related to, but not the same as the one in the Middle Ages. What we think of as a pot is a metal, usually silver or copper, or sometimes glass Corningware, but that's not what they would have thought of. It would have been beaten metal. Um, Same with pans. What's a spider? What is a rice or a bean pot? What are trenchers, cooking grates, trivets, coal pullers? Like, these are all things that I use when I'm out doing Ren fairs, and I've been using them for so many years that it doesn't occur to me on initial read that other people might not know what they mean. And so I'm going to have full descriptions of all of this stuff in the book because I really want the cookbook to be available to everyone. So, when you're going through and you're editing, you could try doing the printout thing. You could try doing the notebook thing, and whatever works for you works. And if you have different ways of doing it, share it with us because I'd love to know. And I'm always looking for new ways to do stuff. Um, but it's good to have different methods for editing, especially if you have to edit your own material. When I have someone else editing it, they're going to see things with fresh eyes. I'm looking at the same piece of document that I've been working on since what, September, October? It's been months. I'm going to miss some of those errors simply because I've looked at it so many times that I gloss over it, and that's not good. So I have to look at it differently. When it's fiction, I read it out loud. My kid listens in and I actually read stories out loud, and it's a blast and everybody has fun. Um, but I can't do that with a cookbook because it doesn't scan the same way. It's it just doesn't work. So, this is how I'm doing it, and it's good. I'm having fun with it. I'm not on track for having it done by May. I had thought that I would, but a lot of things with the virus and stuff have really kind of thrown my timing off whack. I wasn't expecting to have a grandkid here every day. Um, and even though I will admit I haven't done as much work as I probably could be doing, I also haven't put as much work in as I should have been. It's just I've been letting it get away from me. It happens. So, um, yeah, that's it for the day. I hope you're having a good day. It's gorgeous outside. It's a little overcast, but the temperature is beautiful out here. I worked out here for about an hour and a half on the garden, and the weather is gorgeous. The sun is out. I feel like I'm basking. And yeah, go outside. And, even if you don't have a garden or yard like we do, get a planter, get a window planter, get a little tiny pot, whatever, grow something, anything. Green things are life. And when you're helping life along, it makes you feel better. So go grow something, anything. Grow a sunflower, grow a radish in a pot. Did you know you can grow carrots in 2-liter soda bottles? You cut the top off, fill it with dirt, stick a couple holes in the bottom for drainage, and then plant your carrots in. You can plant 4 carrots in a 2-liter bottle of Coke. Of course, you drink the Coke first. But they'll grow nice and straight because there's no rocks and stuff in it. And you end up with carrots. You can do this. You can do it in a windowsill. It's all good. Go grow something. And have a great day, okay, guys? I can't see anything. There we go. Now that you've looked at my forehead. I love you guys. I'll see you soon. Bye.